problem.
Reaction. Okay.
Okay, no, pretend I asked it again.
Give me the question again.
Okay. Where did you learn the importance?
When I did my apprenticeship, my master, which was very strict, really showed me right from the beginning that not only do you expect yourself as a person to become a cook, but also everything which you work with. And the knife by itself is really the one which you need in order to succeed. And so I was really sometimes with a little force and sometimes with coaching. I was taught to use the knife the proper way and use the right knife for the proper product to cut. I think the knife is a tool, and as a tool, you see, it is very important to care of it, maintain it, and respect it as you respect your own body. Because it's the knife who does really most of the work. It's designed for that. And as a chef, you should know, see, what the knife does for you. Yeah, I think the knife, you see, as it becomes a part, you see, of yourself, you also start to respect it, as well as, see, as I may even say, love it, because it becomes that extension of your hand which does the tedious work and does it good. Well, in the earlier days, it was always the master which somehow gave his apprentice, or the person which he felt will step in his shoes or her shoes, that it was given a present. And the present really was given in the form of a knife, because it was the knife, you see, which showed the master how to cook, or helped the master how to cook. And then that knife he also gave to his apprentice, which he felt was the person to step in his or her shoes. I think, you see, it's a great tradition because it shows, number one, the respect of the tool by itself. It maintains a friendship between colleagues, because after you finish your apprenticeship, in a sense, you become a colleague, a full colleague, you see, of your master. And he shows, or you can show to somebody that you feel that that person has the right way to become a chef. To be attached to a knife, for example, I have knives which go back, you see, for 40 years. I don't use them anymore because they have become a type of something which I care for, like a jewel. Very often we put a jewel on us in order to show off. I use my knives to show off. And I can say, I have knives which are 40 years old and even older. And that alone by itself gives prestige to me, to my profession, and to the people which I work with. Yeah, I have some knives here which were given to me. As a matter of fact, this was actually the first knife was given to me by my master. It's a Trenchlot, and it was used actually to cut chickens and ducks by itself. I put a new handle on because the old handle fell apart. And I still really sometimes even use it today, not as often anymore, but I keep it at home. Then I got another knife, which is, I think, a very important one which we use, a paring knife. It doesn't look as nice and shiny as the ones today, but it did his work, and still does it. And again, also I had to put another handle onto it because the old handle fell apart, but it's still a workable tool. And one of these days I'm going to give it to one of my students, which I think is going to be what's it called, great in this business. And then, of course, I have still my slicing knife, which sliced a lot of salmons and other things. And you can see it's been used a long time. And I still have that. And it's like a jewel. I keep this now like a wedding ring, so to speak. And the last one I have back from my days, and that goes back to 1951, is my fork. Which was used at the time, a little crooked now because it's old. But that fork actually was in the possession of my master before, and he worked with that. So it's not just 40 years old, it's older. And I think it was given to him by his master. And the twine is around there to protect the handle actually because it's so old. And one of these days I'll give it away too.
Chef Sonschmidt, how are you? What's going on? Nice to see you. How's everything?
My God,
how you doing?
We're going to come up with the recipe of Mama's recipe.
Exactly, Mama's meatballs. I came up to show you how to do it.
I had them down there at your place,
Did you? You came to my place?
That's absolutely.
You came to Rocco's, that's right. I wasn't there that night. I'm sorry I missed you.
What was Rocco like back then when you were his teacher?
Well, I don't want to say it, but he made the dean's list.
Ah, okay, that's enough. No more
While we're here, I have to do one thing here. There's an old tradition in
Okay, yes.
When the student and the apprentice did better than the master,
Okay.
the master will give a knife. This was given to me by my master in 1980 because I outdid my master. So I want to give it to you.
This is so nice of you. Thank you so much. I
Obviously,
really
because
appreciate it.
you outdid me.
I don't think so. There's a long way to go
Maybe
before
I
I
give you
do
a job
you.
one of these days.
Oh my
I
God.
wash dishes too, you know.
Thank you. That's so sweet of you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Knife skills and your knives. What better tool to talk about than it's like a writer, his pencil. I think knives are, you show me your knives, I tell you who you are. And I think that kind of aspect with cooking is because those tools are so important to you. I have specific knives that would never be able to cut fish with another knife because I feel comfortable with that piece of equipment in my hand. And I think the knives that you have are really the tools that you should cherish the most. And the more they get ground off because you need to sharpen them, the better they get in your hand. I think where we put our knives, there are magnetic holders on the walls where we put our knives on there, but also we have a drawer system in the kitchen. And I didn't want to have these knife bags lying around in the kitchen all over the place. I can't stand that because they can fall on the floor, they can fall out. That's why I created a whole system of drawers where we put the knives inside. It's got a lock there, you can put your knives inside. And all that is very, very important because your basic tool is really what you're going to do. That's the first thing I see is when you set up your cutting board and you put your knife next to your cutting board. How do you set up your knives? Do you put your knives all over the place around the cutting board, or do you set them on a towel to your right hand side, if you're left-handed to the left hand side? All those things are really basic things that I look for, especially on the trail day, or the day when the person comes in and trails with us. And it breaks my heart sometimes when I do see knives that are not handled properly. Definitely.